You applied to 30 jobs and heard almost nothing back. It feels like something is wrong with you. The math says something else. The real number behind the silence is 1 in 30. Here is what every rejection feels like. You sent a good application to a job you could do. Weeks pass. Silence or a form rejection. You do it again. Same result. After 20 of these, one conclusion feels obvious. The problem must be you, your resume, your experience, something you cannot see. That conclusion feels like evidence. It is not. The right question is not what is wrong with you. It is what the base rate actually is. A base rate is how often a thing happens on average. For a single job application, that number is small, much smaller than almost anyone expects. And when the base rate is small, a long string of no's is not failure. It is the most likely thing that can happen. Here is how the math works. A job search is a funnel with 2 steps. Applications become interviews. Interviews become offers. Each step keeps only a fraction. Across large samples of real hiring, about 1 application in 30 leads to an interview. Not 1 in 3, 1 in 30. So 29 silent applications is not a sign you are doing it wrong. It is the average, playing out exactly as expected. Take the first step by itself. You send 30 applications. On average, that buys you 1 interview. 29 produce nothing. By the numbers. The 29 were never a verdict on you. They were the denominator you never see. Now the second step. About 1 interview in 4 becomes an offer. Put the 2 together. 1 in 30, then 1 in 4. That is about 1 offer per 120 applications. The odds on a single application are under 1%. Watch what that does over a real search. 50 applications. About a 1 in 3 chance of an offer. 1 in 3. After 50. 100 applications. A little better than a coin flip. 200. About 4 in 5. The offer was always near the end of a long line. At 30 applications, the odds of an offer are just over 1 in 5. Here is the part closest to your own search. Someone always tells you they walked into a job. 1 application, 1 interview, done. They are not lying. Someone has to be the 1 in 120. What you cannot see behind them is everyone running the same odds, still applying. You see the winner, you never see the denominator. And often that fast win was a referral, which runs on far better odds than a cold application. Understanding the base rate still does not make it feel better. Here is why. The rejections do not arrive as a number. They arrive one at a time, over weeks, each one alone, each one personal. You feel every no. You never feel the base rate. A cost you feel one at a time beats a statistic you were told once. So each rejection reads as a verdict, even when you know it is just the average. So here is what the math actually tells you. First, judge the search by volume, not by the last no. Decide the denominator before you start. Expect 1 interview per 30, 1 offer per 120. Count applications sent, not rejections received. A wall of silence at 30 is the base rate, not a stop sign. Second, if you want better odds, raise the rate per application. Do not just add volume. A referral converts far higher than a cold application. A handful of referred applications can do more than a pile of cold ones. Referrals raise the odds on each application. Volume just adds more at the same odds. You applied to 30 jobs and heard almost nothing. That was never proof something is wrong with you. It was 1 in 30 doing what 1 in 30 does. The rejections were the math, not the verdict.